Hey folks, today is Friday, August 5th, 2016. My name is Jake Baldino, the Crown Prince of gameranx. Every week we come here to talk about some cool video game news stuff. So let's get right into it, starting off with Overwatch. Overwatch surprised everybody with a new little free update that basically is a celebration of the Olympics. And what you get is a lot of stuff if you're into unboxing loot boxes. There is a bunch of new content all related to Olympic themed stuff like cool new skins, icons, stuff like that. But I think for me, the biggest thing that they temporarily added here is a new game mode, Lucio Ball. And I think it's really cool, and it's also very interesting because they're totally trying to get after that Rocket League money. Rocket League still being one of my favorite games ever. Lucio Ball is actually pretty dope. It's a very unique mode because it feels kind of like it was like a mod or a very weird creative idea. And I like that because Blizzard is throwing out stuff and making good on that $60 or $40 or $50 price tag that they were charging people. Not only that, but they announced an organized World Cup style game that they're putting on for BlizzCon, and players can vote for their favorite players to represent different countries. And that seems like a pretty cool setup. And oh boy, it is time to talk about everybody's favorite game. A lot of you guys have been begging me to talk about this game, and we haven't really had too much of a reason to news-wise up until now. No Man's Sky. Some crazy ass guy spent $1,300 cash to buy this game early somewhere. That's a story in and of itself because I really want to know what he was thinking with that. That's crazy. I mean, some people complain about the game being $60, let alone upwards of over $1,000. I guess it must be pretty awesome to have infinite money, but besides that, what he had to go on to say, he's an active Reddit user, he gave a lot of impressions of the game, and he said, much to many people's dismay, that he finished the game in 30 hours. Now, 30 hours, to me, I hear that, I say, no, not bad. Pretty lengthy game. But to some people who I think who have insanely high expectations for No Man's Sky, 30 hours is like a wet blanket on the hype of the game. But if you read a little bit more into it, the way he played, he found an exploit, he found a very valuable item early in the game and used it to upgrade his ship and, you know, fly past stuff. So while he said he did get to see a lot of the game, he still progressed pretty quickly, and I think basically everybody's gonna have a different experience with this game, you know, because you discover different random planets and stuff, but also just everybody will play it differently in terms of how you stop and smell the roses and explore planets, or if you're just playing to progress. And honestly, seeing the way this game is shaping up, I think this is going to be very much a chill out and explore planets type of game.
Oh, you mean like that game that already exists called Elite Dangerous?
Good one. You're right. You're right. He's right. Will this be the end-all, be-all games to beat all games? No, I definitely don't think that. I think you should go into this game with normal expectations. Chill out. It's probably going to be fun. Don't worry. Play it for yourself. Experience it for yourself. And form your own opinion, you know? Because that's what this is all about. Also, I think it is definitely worth noting that 65 Days of Static, the band that made the soundtrack for No Man's Sky, released the entire soundtrack available for streaming, and it's actually pretty damn good. It's worth a listen. I almost said 69 Days of Static. And another thing that surprised people quite a bit this week was this game trailer dropped out of nowhere that nobody was anticipating. A game called Lost Soul Aside. Basically what this is a one-man creation. One man named Yang Bing from Korea developed this entire game by himself over the course of 2 years because he was inspired by the look of Final Fantasy 15. And I gotta say, having played a decent amount of Final Fantasy 15 at E3 and the demos and stuff, the combat in this game looks a lot better. I kind of feel like it can be assumed that this guy making this game by himself and it being this type of game kind of automatically by proxy makes it one of the most ambitious games ever. And while it is a little bit of a copycat here and there, and there's a lot of anime and Final Fantasy game tropes, I think it's pretty amazing that one man set out and made this as like a passion project, and it's super cool. This is still a prototype, and Bing did say that he used a lot of paid assets from an asset marketplace, but ultimately it seems like he actually designed these characters, fleshed out this story, and made that combat system. And that shit is really impressive, and people have taken notice. Developers and publishers have already been reaching out to him, trying to work out deals with him, and that is crazy. I still gotta say though, in terms of just the look, design, and the feel, and the excitement of this pretty well put together trailer, good job, man. And something that seemingly dropped somewhat quietly, at least for people who aren't at QuakeCon, are new trailers from Bethesda for number one, the new Quake game, Quake Champions, which I have to say, looks pretty damn good. I know this is a trailer, and I know there's still gonna be a lot of weird kind of like MOBA character-based stuff that they're adding and kind of will make the game feel like a free-to-play game, at least from what they said when they announced the game. But this trailer here, this looks good. It looks like what I want. It looks like a modernization of what I used to play as a kid. And we got an actual gameplay trailer for the new Prey game. Now, someone who is still very much wanting the Prey 2 that they originally announced way back in the day, this seems all right. It seems like they're working, you know, from what they've said at E3, it's more systems-based than you would be led to believe. So it seems like they might be kind of turning it into somewhat of like a System Shock game. It's very interesting, but I'm still extremely skeptical. Oh, and real quick, some of you guys may have missed this, but Inside is getting a PS4 release this month, August 23rd. I highly recommend it because it's one of my favorite games I've played in a while. So if you like a cool indie game and if you liked Limbo, definitely check out Inside. But of course, it would not be a week if we weren't talking about Take-Two and Rockstar Games and what they're working on. And of course, we have another little tiny glimmer tidbit of information to make a whole video about. During their standard annual earnings reports conference call type of thing, Take-Two did say that, and I quote, Rockstar Games also is hard at work on some exciting future projects that will be revealed soon. Woo! New Red Dead game, right? I don't know. Okay, we've heard this before. We have to bring that up, that we've heard this at the last earnings call. And I think it's also worth noting that, props to Rockstar because they're still supporting the hell out of Grand Theft Auto 5, most specifically online with adding those new stunt things. They're absolutely crazy. But Take-Two does also like to boast and still bring up Red Dead and how it has been a success porting it over to Xbox One backwards compatibility. So that's also a thing. And I really do think an announcement from Rockstar is coming soon, whatever they're working on, whether it be Red Dead or not, which I think it might be Red Dead at this point. Regardless, if they do announce something soon, Take-Two has said that we should not expect an actual release of a Rockstar game until April 2017 at the earliest. Also, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Deus Ex was partnering up with CNN to sponsor a real-world conference about biomedical augmentations and human augmentations and the innovations therein. And I got to go to it because it was in New York and I'm in New York, so I got to see cool robot arms and I saw a man stand up from a wheelchair because he had exoskeleton legs, and it was really incredible stuff. They did live stream the whole thing on Twitch. It's very much more scholarly and more educational than anything video games, but if you want, I linked it down below. You can check out the archive of it. And of course, you guys know everything I talk about today, all the stories will be linked down in the description below. And for those of you that still play Destiny, yes, all right, every single comment, oh, people still play Destiny. I know, okay, look, I don't play Destiny anymore either, but Game Informer has a big thing on Rise of Iron, and I gotta say, the cover, that art, damn, that looks good. If I played Destiny, I would put that art on my wall. But I don't. But I do think it is interesting that they got Bungie on record talking about the future after this expansion, how they're supporting it. They're adding Sparrow Racing League again. They're doing another Halloween event. And then they're going to start talking about the big picture and what's really coming next for Destiny. I linked the whole thing down in the description below. It is definitely worth a read if you do play Destiny. And I know there are some of you out there. Don't let people make fun of you. Something that is very interesting that I'm surprised it took this long to surface, honestly. Oculus Rift got a teardown. Somebody added up the price of all the components within it, and it apparently cost just over $200. So that is a very, very large margin from the cost to actually manufacture this thing in components to the actual price of the product. Now, some people are crying and screaming, rip off, this is fucking bullshit, Palmer Lucky. You said it should have been cheaper, and then you made it expensive. And it's actually really cheap to make, but you have to think about all the other things that went into the Oculus Rift, like the years and years of money spent behind research and development, all that shit. You can decide for yourself, but ultimately, we did do a before you buy video on Oculus Rift, and basically, I could say, don't buy it. And that's coming from somebody who is really cheerleading for VR, but we will have a before you buy on the Vive very soon. And since I'm kind of speaking to minority groups in gaming this week, hey, Vita owners, hey, yo, the Vita got hacked. You remember how awesome it was when the PSP was hacked and you could do pretty much anything you wanted with it? Well, this in a way is somewhat like it. The problem with this hack, though, is that it is a web-based hack that you have to access through the browser. So if you do actually power the thing off completely, you're back to square one. But, with this hack, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can play games on it that you couldn't originally. You can whitelist games that aren't available usually to play on your PS Vita. And that's especially useful because this hack can also be on the PlayStation Vita TV thing that I don't have. But apparently you can do shit with that too. Like there are those some Vita games that you can play on the TV, but there are some that you can't. Well, now you can enable those. I have a Vita and I do like it. I can't wait to dust it off and play with this weekend. I do want to know what you guys are playing this weekend. Let's talk about that down in the comments. But you guys know what you're really here for, the game giveaway we do every single week, okay? Every single week there's a link below. You click it, you enter, you sign up once, you're entered forever. And then every single week I go in and I close my eyes, randomly choose one person to win a free game of their choice. This week's winner is, nice job, you won. I'm gonna contact you this weekend, send me your deets, we'll send you a free game. But you guys know the deal, we have to talk in the comments about all the stuff going on this week. How about that Overwatch update? Are you into it? Are you into Lucio Ball as much as I am? Lucille Ball? And seriously, all the hype aside, how do you guys feel about No Man's Sky? Let's be completely rational about this. We can also chat about Lost Soul aside. How do you feel about it? Would you play it, even if it was in rough shape? And if you had to choose Prey or the new Quake, which one would you play first? Anything we talked about this week, let's talk about it down in the comments. I'll be there. I'll also be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those places at Jake Baldino if you guys want to be friends. But you guys know the deal. Thank you so much for coming around, hiding behind voiceovers all week. It's nice to kind of come out here and wave to you guys, and you guys wave back. And by wave back, I mean hateful comments. But you know, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and I really appreciate it. And if this is your first time here, subscribing is a good idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me. I need to stop.
You really do.